except if anybody else needs use of the frequency. The 2 a.m. net will begin here in approximately, well, a little over 8 minutes. KC9UDX net control. Good evening. This is Kilo Charlie Niner Uniform Delta X-Ray. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kcs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, but I'm going to check in 9CX.
All right, got one recognizing N9CXK. Carol, welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else?
Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Got one more recognizing WB9BWP. Welcome, Dave. Do we have anybody else? All right, hearing none, I guess we'll get started. I guess three things I know of to bring up here. Probably others. Of course, the ARRL has been hacked. They say their servers were compromised, but nothing of use was taken. It's just going to take some time for them to get things back to normal. It made some people worry about their TQSL status. For Logbook of the World, I'm sure my stuff is all expired, and I'd have to go through the postcard again or something. I don't know. I don't know how they do that. I see we're going to have a long night here at this rate. But I don't know how that works when you go too long and have to redo that. So I think I came close one time. I know that Lorelei KD9WFA has not received a postcard yet. She, I think, requested that over a year ago. I'm not sure whatever happened to that. Speaking of KD9WFA, I will be supporting her in a fox hunt on Saturday. She will be the fox. unless we have bad weather, I suppose. And of course, field day is coming up. And anything else you guys want to talk about, hopefully I can keep transmitting here. Start out with Carol. Excuse me, N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net N9CXK. Alright, well, I guess it's time for another menthol cigarette already there, Matt. What can I talk about? Saturday was a wonderful ham fest down in Lyons. It was attended by all the real diehards, and didn't get a drop of rain there till well after everybody was home, I would say. So there was buying and selling going on, and mostly a lot of visiting. So it was a real success. Very good, and some of the best crawlers I ever had. They were greebies, but they were some of the best ones I ever had that one of the guys picked up and brought over. So that's good. Let's see, I'm looking at I have a new Daiwa meter here. The cross needle meter. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Since I'm only, my RF power is at 8 watts. So I'll turn that up when I get to it. But my antenna, the match, looks like it's perfect, and I'm showing just about 8 watts on the watt meter. So, that's good. That's good. Tells me that everything's working more or less. Solar activity is relatively high, but I don't know what it's doing at the moment. I know that the solar sunspots were crackling away and erupting quite a bit. M and X flares. I don't know if there have been any X flares lately, but there were some. And I'm back at work this week, and it's very busy. Just a bunch of running around. Get to run down to Darien, Wisconsin again tomorrow. There's a new solar farm down there, so that'll be kind of fun. I like getting out of the area if I can, over into somebody else's territory. That'll be good. And other than that, typically this time of year we're outside until dark every night. I've got boxes and boxes of plants to get in the ground out here, working on the gravelly, sandy hill that goes from our yard down to the lake. So it's a lot of scrambling and a lot of holding on tight and trying to dig in the gravel. But we're doing pretty well. Everything is surviving down there, and we're getting a lot of nice wood chips and stuff on top of it to hold the moisture. So things are getting better as we speak. So that's good for now. N9CXK, over.
All right, thank you, Carol. I got to figure out a way to stabilize that crystal or start using the VFO, I guess. I hate to go back to using that thing again, but maybe that's what we'll have to do. It's a shame the past couple months it's been pretty reliable. Anyway, Greeby's crawlers. I always had those as a kid. My grandparents had them all the time. I'm somehow related to Greeby's. And solar activity, yeah, I believe it was a couple days ago there was a total blackout at the poles, but I don't know that there's too much else been affecting us elsewhere. Though I don't keep real good track of that, probably because I'm not real active on HF. In fact, I'm not active at all. I have not powered up either of my HF stations here in I don't know how long. I should do that one of these days. Someday I got to figure out what's wrong with my KW. There was something that I wanted to do with it, and some reason I did not continue using it, and I guess I'll have to hook up a dummy load to that thing and see what it does that I did not like. Someday. And it's good to hear about the Ham Fest. I did not attend that one. I did not make the not making Dayton one either, unfortunately. I think that was 2 weekends ago. I don't remember what happened, but something came up and I was not able to go. But with that, we'll go to Dave WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Well, good evening, Matt and Carol. I'm going to have to say all because there's just a couple of us, but you never know. So early. I also have a Iowa meter on this radio for VHF and UHF, and I'm running full blast here, which is 25 watts, and antenna's not bad, not perfect, but not bad. I did not make the Amplitude either this past weekend. And Greasy's Bakery. My early years were spent in the middle of town, kind of, on 28th Street, up in National. And 3 feet behind our back door was a strip mall, which, among other stores, included a Greasy's Bakery. So, needless to say, that probably contributed to why I'm not a skinny guy. I guess I'll leave it at that. Let's see. And, yes, the parking lot and plus I'm not making the meeting one was our last club meeting. Because there was the auction and I ran the auction. There was lots of stuff there. I guess it came from a couple of maybe one silent key and one just cleaning house or something. Lots of stuff that I was even hard pressed to come up with a good description of what this thing is. A bunch of stuff moved, but a bunch of stuff I believe is still there, including some vintage e-kit test equipment. I made an offer to a club to take those things out to South Milwaukee, but other stuff of my own, because the stuff that I populate tables with is becoming less and less, which I guess is a good thing. Of course, my wife would say, no, there's a lot more stuff to take, but stand by just a moment. I just don't go into the menu and change the timer. I have not done anything in HF in a couple of weeks at least. Grow to Islands, which was spending most of its time so far on FT8, was on voice the other night. It was Saturday night, maybe. Filled up in spotting, so one word before I could hear a bunch of guys calling it, but I could not hear them. And I haven't seen them in the spot lately. Today, that's part of the logging software. There's 5 lines or so at the bottom of the screen. There's been a number of 6-meter spots showing up, including Japan. So I don't know if 6 is open right now or not. Could be. I heard some guys talking the other day that maybe over the weekend 6 had some moments. I don't know. I gotta get in front of the radios more. But so we start putting the house back together. We replaced carpet in about 2/3 of the house and changing closets around a little bit too with stuff that's inside of them. And so years moving all my radios around, but now I'm moving everything else in the house around too. So anyway, I'll send it back to Ned before I babble too much here. Nothing special to say. This is WB9BWB.
All right, thank you, Dave. Watch my meter slowly rise here. You know, speaking of those Daiwa VHF power meters, the cross needle ones, I had one here, and I sold it with a whole bunch of other stuff I sold off a long time ago now. And I found one somebody was selling. I thought about getting it. I could really use it for this radio. It would be really handy to be able to watch my output power and not rely on the meter on the radio. But I think I let that lapse too long. I'm not sure if the guy's still selling it. I'll have to find out. And you bring up 6 meters, that just reminds me of more work I have to do around here that never gets done. My GON set for 6 meters badly needs a receiver alignment and probably needs power supply capacitors. And of course, it's going on, well, it's longer than 10 years now. I've been trying to get the proper Cinch Jones connectors for those things so I don't have to stick Stacons on the back to power them up. That's a real pain. One of these days. And with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please.
This is November 9, Foxtrot, Sierra, Echo, New Berlin.
Recognizing N9FSE. Welcome, Steve. Do we have anybody else? Well, hearing none, I'll turn it right to you, Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Well, greetings to the stations I've heard so far. You, Matt, Carol, and Dave, and everybody's a solid across the board. 30 over last night. There's somebody else in there we haven't heard of yet. Been out here. A little tardy because I stopped at the quick trip for a bite. After heading home because I forgot this equipment and I forgot my headphones. So, and then we got the usual fan in the background, but hopefully it's not as bad as last year because I got we finally, with the help of everybody here, dialed in the mic gain. So I may be able to be heard, but at least it won't hopefully drown me out. And I forgot my headphones, so I'm like, oh well, we'll deal without that. We reset a trap out here for the mice, and there was one I heard about. It's a pretty clean trap because it doesn't look like it grabbed a mouse as of yet, so that's a good thing. So that was an easy reset. Looked at the bowling car before I left for a while, working on the brakes. I got the thing set up, but the cylinder's stuck out, so I don't know if you might have good ideas on that, Matt. Maybe I gotta open up the bleeder, and maybe it'll be all it needs, or it'll be time for a whole caliper. And very good on HF conditions, and not even then wasn't there with the real date. And didn't get the one as I was planning on it, but I looked at the weather and just couldn't get myself motivated Saturday, so I unfortunately missed that. That would have been a good one. I usually attend that event, but we'll see. Maybe this Saturday would be time to go up to Sunshine Swap up in Appleton. And very good on solar conditions, and I've been pretty wild lately. Got the this year Play 1A running at the house again, so I'm happy about that. did the upgrade. Didn't look like too much different than what I was used to, but did the upgrade. Got that going, and it's nice to be able to tune around, especially with the HF all cranky. It was good to tune around higher frequencies, and saw a lot of digital stuff in the 6-meter band during that contest last weekend. And didn't see much on 2, but I heard there was traffic there. And didn't key up, but tonight I did bring my new 220 radio in, kicked the W9RIX repeater. So rattled the cage over at Westside. It was announced that I was on 442, and I'm like, well, I know that, or 440.200. It was just a QSD to invite people to this net, as I usually do. So let's see if we put all the extra noise that we pick anyone else up. So that's what I have on this round. I think if there's anything else of use, but it looks like most of us are got our summer mode on, and in between taking care of a few hanging things, everybody's out cutting grass or spending some time outdoors. With that, back up to Ness. This is NIFSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. Wait for my crystal to warm up here a little bit. Yeah, I think you've heard everybody here so far. And that brake caliper, unless you've got 2 of them that are sticking like that, you know, if you had 2 of them, you could have a bad master cylinder. But if it's only 1, you probably need a new one. And I recommend buying 2 at a time. I would never replace one caliper. I mean, the alternative is you could hone the cylinder and get a kit to rebuild it. But calipers are so cheap these days. At least all the ones I need to buy are so stinking cheap. I don't even think about rebuilding them anymore. And well, that's one of the additional reasons I'm not down here in the shack. Recently, I've been working on another vehicle, and that one, incidentally, has really good back brakes, but I do not think the front brakes are working at all. It's got a leaky brake booster. I think I've got one on the shelf I can put in it. And it has some more than questionable fittings on the rear brake lines. Those are going to have to be deleted. I think we've discussed that here on the net before. Those compression fittings, which are totally unsuitable for brake lines. I couldn't tell you how many cars I've bought that somebody has put those on there. In fact, I've seen people buying them at an auto parts store, which is, I don't know, that's totally absurd that those places sell those plumbing fittings. But it's been a while, maybe they don't anymore, I have no idea. Fan is not objectionable, and like you said, not as bad as last year. I have not had mice here in a long time. I don't know if we have a lot of hawks outside, or I don't know what else is taking care of the mice, but you know, I don't know, they kind of go in waves. You know, some years we don't have any, and some years there's a lot. And lately there just haven't been any, which I'm not going to complain. I wonder if coyotes eat mice, because there sure are a lot of coyotes around here now. I think there's more now than there ever were. At least as long as I've been living in this area, which is since 1990, mostly. And we're at the bottom of the list again. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. Well, I heard somebody in there, but please go slower and maybe use phonetics.
Oh, you got my nose in there for crying out loud. First time I've operated 10 AM on anything. Jesus, I'm not knowing. Romeo Foxtrot. Never say, self-life is incorrect.
Well, I apologize. I don't know if it's me or my radio. Steve, I'll defer to you. N9FSE. Could you make that out?
Yes, I could. I'll have to ask him to. I got it all, but I go slower for those of us pulling things out. Welcome to AM. Welcome to 2 meters AM. That station there is P9 PRF. Kilo Bravo 9, Papa Romeo Fox, and that is Dave. And we'll have to go around real quick, see who all can hear him besides me. I am in New Berlin on a big stick. And you may all, let's see, first off, let's see who all heard him other than barely Matt, our net control KC9UDX. Just a quick check with Carol and the other Dave. We have other Dave again. And we'll see if they hear you at all before we turn it back over to KB9PRF. This is N9FSE in New Berlin. Carol?
I thought I might have heard an increase in the noise level, barely, but that was all. Nothing.
Roger, Dave?
Nothing here. Not even a book on my radio.
Okay, you're not heard by some of our other stations, KB9PRF, but why don't you tell us where you are, and then maybe that'll, if anybody has a beam, that'll help out, and if not, feel free to ride along here, and I'll be happy to relay your comments to the net. KB9PRF, N9FSE, over.
Very good, Steve. Thank you for getting me in here. I'm pretty honest, I thought I was studying once, but apparently there's all this T991 alpha hooked out. That's going into a Comet GP6. And I'm located in Montrose, Wisconsin, which is about a half a dozen miles south of Holy Hill. I'm up on a ridge. And usually penetrates quite well, but there's no way in after all. Thanks for the idea. Back it up.
And I have to not run my preamp here, so very good, Dave. He's at Montrose, and he's at 20 watts on a FT991, and I have many years ago checked into this net on NIEAW's 991 when we were running portable up at Maryknoll. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to net control, KC9UDX for his comments, and 9FSE.
All right, well, thank you, Steve, and welcome, Dave. I apologize. I have a good copy on you here. I just cannot make out your voice, and it may be my speaker. I don't know. I notice it's not crystal clear when Steve is talking, and it normally is, so maybe there's something going on here. But I apologize. It's good to have you here, and I really like to welcome you to the net, and hope you stick around. This is we have a lot of fun here. Your call sign sounds awful familiar to me, although I could be imagining it, so I wonder where else you hang out. Maybe I have talked to you in the distant past, or at least heard you somewhere. But we are at the bottom of the list yet. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. All right, hearing none. I'm going to try to tune this up a little bit. Well, I should keep my hands off it, I guess. Go back to the top of the list. Carol N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the 2 a.m. net. N9CXK, okay, very good. Steve, you're sounding bodacious as usual. Sounding good. And you had I'm running the same radio as Dave, so I'm really not sure. Well, I would imagine his antenna isn't quite the same as mine, so that's probably why. But yeah, I can't say what was really happening to the band, but 10 meters has been great, and I'm pleased about that. I have a half-wave vertical for 10 meters up here, a fiberglass vertical, and I procured the radial kit for it, to stick some radials on the half-wave, and I couldn't really tell that things were changing a lot, and the conditions are kind of crazy, but the local conditions don't change too much. So on the Sunday Night Net, I was trying to evaluate it, and what I do see tonight is that I think what I've done with putting the radials on there is decoupled the coax, and the common mode noise seems to be way down. The radio is very quiet on 10 meters now until I hear a signal. So I'm pretty excited about that. Be doing more testing for another week, I'm sure, just to see. I don't know if it's helping my transmit that much, but really helping to receive like that is fantastic. So just the average noise that I'm listening to between transmissions is way down, so I'm very happy. And I have some noise, I think it comes from the neighbor's TV or something, and that's way down too. So, unless I have the RF gain turned back, I think we're good. I also put up a brand new PAR end-fed antenna for shortwave listening. Super highly rated, and every review was just sparkling, and I put it up, and it does seem to work really well. I don't have a lot of shortwave broadcasts to listen to anymore, but I listen a lot to the aeronautical channels, aeronautical overseas channels, and I listen to San Francisco working all the planes over the Pacific all night long, and I can't tell you the last time I actually heard San Francisco and was able to decipher what they were saying. But last night they were coming in on 11 megs all night long, and I could hear everything they were saying, and I could hear a lot of the planes. So I think that antenna is, as they say, pretty stellar, and I guess the way the matching coil or choke or whatever you want to call it in there, the 9-to-1, the way it's wound, does cut the common mode noise down tremendously also on the shortwave antenna. So two successes, I guess. I guess that's it. And I did sell my 80-meter double bazooka at the Hamfest, and I think that person's going to be very happy with that too. Very low noise antenna also. So that's kind of the radio round over here. Don't have much else to report. Looking out over the lake, steam was coming up from the lake this morning, but right now it's just about as perfect as could be. Whoa, time down. Nice. And CXK back to net. Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you, Carol. And fine business. It's very, very good to hear. Someday I'll be able to play around with better antennas, but that's very good. I have not done any shortwave listening in many years now. Probably close to 10 years. I used to do a lot. Probably not a whole lot to listen to anymore. One of the things I was listening to, I suppose before I stopped, was the low frequency stuff. And I don't know how much of that stuff is still around either. Someday I'll have time to play around with that stuff again, and by then probably be too late, I suppose. And next, Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Well, you turned it over just in time as your radio was starting to do whatever it is that it does there, that drift away or anyhow. And before I forget, Matt, when you get back with, we said you need a Jones connector for your other gun set. That's the flat blade kind of thing. I have a number of here. I have a ton of the 2-pin ones. I have a collection of some of the larger ones too. What is it that you need on that? And the TQ itself, but the postcard, you guys should be just a few weeks, a couple of weeks or something. If it's been months, I don't know. I can't come up with a good answer for that. That's worth a phone call, I suppose, to them. And if your certificate runs out, I think everything sits there, I believe. You probably have to go through the whole process again to fire it up, as far as, the passwords and the postcards and all that stuff. But not now, because that isn't working. And it's good on the antennas there, Carol. I've got some antenna work that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, as I was kind of getting started with that back on May 1st, as I was putting everything away, at the end of the day, I decided to, as I say, get a closer look at my driveway. And in the process of doing that, I fell on my left arm and dislocated my elbow. So it's on its way back. It's probably about 60-70% or so. I go twice a week where they beat me up and pull and stretch and see what happens before I yell. Actually, it's not bad. It's just limited in motion right now. So I haven't done any of that antenna stuff. I'm just making a list and see what I don't get to before the weather runs out. It was June already. When I said May 1st, it feels like it was last week. Stand by just a moment. Anyhow, and yes, I know the other Dave that's here tonight, even though I can't hear him. He's been a club member in the past, and every once in a while stops by any of the nets that I happen to be frequenting. So, other than that, I guess nothing. Like I said before, nothing real earth-shaking here. I got to start doing something of value to talk. And there's been contests the last couple of weekends, the Jet contest and the digital contest before that, and I didn't have either one of them put in the calendar, so I forgot all about them and didn't do anything on them. Anyhow, we'll send it back to that. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Those Cinch Jones connectors are pretty big. I mean, I've seen bigger ones, but these are probably 3x6, maybe 3x5. I'd have to look. I think if you look up, do an image search for Gonset power connector or something, it should be readily available online. Mostly because all of the Gonsets, I think, use the same connector. They just have different pin configurations. It's actually very handy because all of these radios can be powered on 6-volt DC, 12-volt DC, 120 volt AC and I think 240 volt AC or maybe something else, but it's just a matter of how you wire the plug. The problem is I only have one plug, and so I use that for this radio, even though it came with a different one. And for the other one, alright, here we go. For the other one, I've been just sticking Stay-Cons on there, which you have to be very careful doing that to make sure you get it the right way. And it's just tedious, I guess. I'm positive I have that one wired up for 12 volts DC right now. Sorry to hear about your elbow. I definitely been feeling my age lately. I have not been getting any exercise. Had two instances about a month ago where for whatever reason my leg just gives out. Partially I attribute that to working too many hours because it happens very early in the morning. And one day it happened on a stairway, and I landed on my kneecap right on the sharp front corner of a stair tread, which I guess it's been more than 2 months because it hurt like heck for about 2 months. So I'm not looking forward to getting older, but that's the way it goes, I guess. And yeah, the year's about half over. We've been very, very fortunate that it hasn't been getting very hot out yet. I suppose in the coming days here it's going to start to get hot again, but not the winter to instant summer heat thing that we've been dealing with the past couple years anyway. It's the only reason I've been able to get some things done outside. The older I get, the less I can handle the heat. And the last couple of years during the summer, I just plain can't get anything done. Got the air conditioning on in here already. Got a window unit in my bedroom where I always have to do that. Keep that a constant 60 degrees. If that thermostat went any lower, I'd sure do it. And I keep, I keep wanting to say, you guys with the FT991, I don't know if you're aware of any settings for the microphone. Only I bring this up because other guys with other radios have mentioned that they have to change the microphone settings to use AM after using other modes. I don't have anything that does anything like that, so I can't really comment, but that's what I've heard. And otherwise, signal strength tonight. Of course, I have a 0 to 10 meter. I do not have a S meter. Carol, you're 6 1/4, down from 7. I think you said that you've got the power turned down a little bit. And Dave, you're at 6 like always. Steve, you're 8 like always. And Dave, you're a 4. Excuse me, you're a 4, which is pretty good for a Manches. And with that, we'll go to Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Alrighty, this is N9FSE, and see if I can share some other stuff for other games. I don't know how much he is picking up. KD9PRF, just to let you know where you were. Here's a Mark, this is an ICOM IC702 Mark IIG, so it's a 706 Mark IIG, running at power level 2 out of 10, and finally got my audio dialed in, so it's not blasting and hitting too hard. Good control man runs a constant. Carol, I believe that he's run a 991 and others stuff, and I didn't I had my other notes but there and with my headphones. I don't know what Dave, DWP Dave is running, and keep that elbow iced and get that back in shape. Holy cow! Yeah, ice for Matt's knee as well, and even all my skiing, sometimes just in the winter or even other seasons, it's a little tricky to move, but just gotta keep doing that. Yeah, probably gotta work on my diet a little more. Won't hurt there either. We put the word out this evening on Happy Hour with the Lakeshore group. So he put the word out there as well. Thanks everybody for especially Carol for the audio, and Matt had the audio report for me. Let me know how it's doing here. And I was just listening to the Rookie Net also in the background. There's been some activity on the west side. And good to hear Carol and Jerry over on the Rookie Net. That's Jerry out on this net. And also PRF Dave, you can find this net out on YouTube. Just look up KC9UDX and you should be able to find our archive. Thanks to Matt's hard work there. And let's see, I guess we're heard on Rookie Net. They got the MRI Stegacia tribute built weekend, I guess. There'll be something going on at HRO with them. And then I also made notes here to talk about all the contests that Dave was losing track of and such, and we got field day coming up, so make sure I'm in good enough shape to make it to hang out with the NIGMC crew, which we usually hang with, and usually I tear out of there just before things start to go to a focus show in Bondwell area, and then run back for the late show and Sunday stuff after having breakfast with everybody. So always something going on there. Very good, Carol, on that power end-fed. I still got to get some regular antennas up. That sounds like a blast. And I heard you sold your double bazooka. I wonder if that thing must be long as all get out. Very good on the 10-meter fiberglass. I got one in the house. I got to get it out. Should get it out somewhere somehow too by me, especially with the way things were. I got a story from Sunday. Heard 6 open on the scanner and made a little noise on the Cedarburg 220 machine, and Jim turned on the remote base they have, and we talked to Georgia through the 220 machine there. So I've been doing my part to exercise 220 and 10 FM. So that's what I got at this time. We'll send it to Matt, and I'm sure he'll have me pick up, see if Steve got anybody's stuff. This is N9FSC, over.
All right, thank you, Steve. My radio is really being a pain this month. But I guess it's done this in the past too. Someday I have to do something about that. And now I derailed my train of thought, and my radio doesn't want me to talk either. So, well, I guess you mentioned polka. My sons won't be playing any polka, but both of them will be playing at the Milwaukee Accordion Club. Excuse me. Should look at the calendar and see what day that is. It's the last Monday this month, the 24th. So I guess anybody that wants to go and see that, please do. My 5-year-old will be playing for the first time. He's been practicing for a very long time for this. And with that, we'll go to Dave, KB9PRF from KC9UDX. Well, thank you, Dave. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to turn to Steve for a relay. I'm pretty sure, Dave, you've got decent signal and very good modulation, at least the way I see it on the meter here. But I guess the background noise is just overtaking you here, unfortunately. So, Steve, N9FSC, if you could please relay anything. KC9UDX.
Alright, well, I pushed the 3-amp on and turned it off, went back to wide open EF gain so I could control with RF gain, and I was not pulling it out from Dave so much. So at least we were able to decipher enough initially, but it's kind of similar to what Matt was receiving, not a lot of clarity, so maybe this needs a little gain adjustment for the AM mode and such. And didn't get anything useful out of that, unfortunately, here. And I don't know if you want me to, Matt, check for any other check-ins.
Sure, if you'd like to, go ahead.
Alright, anyone, anywhere, sound of my voice, and the Waukesha-centric, but not entirely Waukesha. We'll take Washington County, we'll take Racine County, we'll take Walworth County, Milwaukee, anywhere. For the monthly 2 a.m. data, 145-700. Anyone call N9FSE now. Alright, we got recheck, and it might be Dave. Go ahead.
Good idea. Well, I was trying to back one down, thinking I was overmodulating, so I turned it up on the summer of where it was. So it's just any better.
Oh, I heard all of that. Maybe even Matt got it. Matt, N9FSE.
Well, yeah, it's definitely better, and I can certainly make out your call sign now, but that's about it, unfortunately.
Okay. So we're up a little harder than that. I thought so. It's the first time I'm through it. So I'm kind of just rambling around with the settings trying to make it work. As soon as I more power and more gain is the key. I can't do much more, but I can kind of do it straight.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm copying. So the question from Matt before was, where do you hang out? I got you S5 now, but your audio is well spruced up and easier copy. Over.
Well, let's see, where do I hang out? That's the answer radio club. Water's on the radio club. I get on FM 2 I've been yelling that. I'm listening for years, but I don't talk a lot on there. But I've got it on the early here. It's just the noisy. So who knows? Sometimes along the line, my voice probably got kept that tempo going on. And Dave down there, but he didn't have my team. Once upon a time, I had been a member of the Walking Over Edison as well. So it's possible if that's something going on. I have.
All right, WMRC Watertown, a little 38, and you recognize that. So turn it back to Matt, net control, and this is MNFSE. Over and over.
All right, thank you, Steve. And Dave, I don't know if my ears are getting more used to you now, but the higher gain certainly helps. I'm getting about 50% now. So yeah, maybe I've heard you on some of the other repeaters. I don't know, but your call sign just does sound familiar. It's been a very long time since I really listened around, though. But you know how it is. You know, sometimes you just don't forget some things. Anyway, we are at the bottom of the list. Well, Steve, you already called for more check-ins, so I think we'll go back to the top of the list. I don't know how many more rounds we're going to do here. My voice is getting kind of hard to talk. But we'll see here. N9CXK from KC9UDX. Well, I think I'm transmitting. Carol, did we lose you? N9CXK from KC9UDX. Well, maybe Carol had to run. So, Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
I'm still here. And for Steve's reference and for anyone else, I have a now very old Kenworth TX2000 that I bought new in, when was that, 2001? Actually, not this radio. The one I bought in 2001, Lightning took care of in 2006. So this was the replacement one. And up until, I think it's now almost 3 years, this was everything. HF and VHF UHF over here. I since got a new HF radio, and so this now does all my VHF and UHF duties, except for when I need fusion stuff. Then I fire up the 400. One thing about the 991s, I know a couple of people that have lost finals. One guy even lost them, I think, twice. They had to make the trip back. Can't remember now if it was the HF or the VHF. But I think it was the VHF finals. And supposedly the YouTube even told them, yeah, don't run it as propeller on VHF. Yeah, I could be listening over to the WikiNet too, but then I could get too confused. I always tell them when I come over here that net will run much faster because I'm not checking in. And you know, talking about your concept, Matt, and things. One of the things I picked up at the auction last month was Jordan KF9Q had a whole bunch, a couple of years worth at least, from about 10, 15 years ago, electric radio magazine. It's very interesting reading. It's a little too expensive new. It's like $40, $45 subscription. And I think they're bi-monthly now. But, you know, they deal solely in boat anchor type things. And like I say, it's interesting reading. But so when I can find some for little or nothing, I grab them up and read through them. And there, the radio timer got away from me. I was saying amazing. Whenever I can find those magazines for free or little money, I grab them and read through them and see if I learn anything in the process. And there's nothing else on my list, so I'll just send it back to Ned. I guess we're still going, I don't know. But anytime you want to hang up, Matt, just say so. This is WP9, BWP.
I'm here.
All right, stand by, Carol. Well, thank you, Dave. I used to have time to read magazines. I just plain don't anymore. I feel pretty guilty about that because I don't even read QST anymore, and I specifically requested keeping QST in print form instead of email. So I do still get that, and I just don't get time to read anything anymore. The TS2000, yeah, I was going to mention, I thought that's what you were using. That is one of the few newer radios that has always kind of piqued my interest. I don't know why. I don't like Kenwood radios. I've had a couple and I absolutely cannot stand the way they operate, but I did get to use one of those TS2000s last year at Field Day, and it was surprisingly different. Very, very intuitive. I really liked operating it, but I always did have a soft spot for that. Always kind of wanted to get one, but that's one of those things I don't have a real need for or any place to put it. And I think you mentioned YouTube, or maybe you did last time around. I should have mentioned earlier, you know, I used to always have a camera pointed at the radio, and then I switched over to having the computer screen. Well, now I've got both. I intended to do this a long time ago, and I never really did it, and now for whatever reason tonight I actually hooked it up this way. So there, if there's a huge delay tonight, way longer than normal, but I guess every once in a while you might see me make an adjustment on the radio or something. That's a very, very long delay. I should have paid attention to how long it was, but that was at least 10 seconds, which is kind of unusual. Although YouTube may be shadow banning me again, which is, I guess, entirely plausible considering I don't think anybody but me has turned on this live stream tonight. But yeah, it does help for long distance stuff here too. Now my radio's starting to act up. That crystal must be getting warmer. I may have to reposition the fan that I've got on it or wrap it in something. I'm not even sure. But that's got to be what it is that crystal is warming up. I can't think of anything else it could be. But, Carol, I think I've made you wait too long. N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net, N9CXK. No, I think that was, well, I know, that was my fault. I went to do something and I came back and I was engrossed in that, and then I didn't hear you call my name. So I'm sorry about that. And I guess I have to apologize if the audio on my radio isn't good. I've spent a lot of time and effort going through menus and setting up the transmit on sideband. So when I go to AM, I really don't know what I'm getting. If it's it's got to be different or not. I'm not really sure. But I don't spend a lot of time worrying about it either. So I can adjust it at some point maybe if I really need to. Everybody has told me that my audio's been pretty good, especially on sideband. I don't use this radio on FM, really. For me, it's extremely cumbersome to use all the memories that I put in the radio. I put lots of memories in here for all different bands and everything, but for the life of me, I can't figure out how to get them and enter one into the current operating mode. So I'm constantly just hitting the band button, going to the band that I want, and dialing around. I have all the memories in here, especially for 2 meters FM and sideband, but I cannot get the combination of buttons to call up the memories and actually access a memory. So they just sit in there. They just sit in there and stare at me, and I don't like it much at all. I was pretty gratified Sunday night. I was on the sideband 10 meter, the 1010 sideband net, and I was trying to see what my output power was looking like. So I dialed from 28,365 down to 28,350 and started doodling around and whistling and stuff, and all of a sudden a few guys called me back, and they were all one stations. They were all in Connecticut, and I think they were all in Connecticut or Massachusetts and Connecticut. And so I apologized very quickly, but then I made 3 or 4 nice contacts in between my turn on the net on the 1010 net. So that told me that the antenna was still working, maybe better, maybe worser, but it's working. So I'll be fiddling around with the 10 meter antenna. I really need it to work well locally, and it's just not the best. I mean, if I could get another 20, 30 feet on it, that would be something, but I can't. I will never have a tower here at the lake house, and my wife would just tell me it was so ugly she would disown me, so I go with all the verticals on the roof here, and they're doing very well. I thought I was going to have a stroke I took the 10 meter antenna down. It's on 35 feet of TV mast. I took it down, and that was real easy. Trying to put it back up, oh baby, that was a little out of my... If I had the rubber arms or arms that were 10 feet long, it would have helped a lot. But then I did get it back up. I only lost it like one time, but I held on to it and got it back up upright. I had a whale of a good time there. So I'm still gonna. Maybe I won't even. I was going to wind a little. I was going to make an air-wound choke under the 10 meter antenna, but I think once I put the radials on there, I don't think I need it. That common mode noise has really dropped off. The background noise on 10 meters has really dropped off. I think we're okay there. And I guess I'll be forever looking for a Mosley mini beam for 10 meters. They made one for 11 meters. It was a Mosley mini beam for 11 meters. It would be very easy to shorten that for 10 meters. I don't know if they ever made it for 10 meters, but it's a long time ago. But I have, a guy gave me a huge box full of S9 magazines from the 60s and 70s. Those are the premier CD radio magazine, and oh my gosh! I mean, I'm kind of an aficionado of CB radios and antennas and things from the olden days. And I have catalogs and stuff from the 70s, and boy, those magazines, there are radios in there I never heard of, and really kind of exciting stuff to see. And the antennas that are the 3 element beam antennas for $12, and ground planes for $5 1/4, and all of that. Oh boy! So it's a lot of fun to look at that stuff. That's why I really enjoy 10 meters, but I will get down to 11 meters and scan around every so often to see what's going on, and there are some nice conversations that are had in certain places, but it's not the rule. It's the exception. So yeah. Shortwave listening. I used to listen to everything. I heard every station in Eastern Europe and Asia, and now there's just nothing. There's just nothing to listen to. Radio Havana. I used to listen to Radio Havana every day. And since Arnie Coro, CO2KK, died, I think he had a lot to do with the operation of Radio Havana. And like last night I tuned in and they were on the air, 10 over S9 signal, no audio that I could discern. They went on for hours like that. Other nights they're not there. Other nights the audio is super distorted. I can't listen to it at all. So Radio Havana's having a lot of trouble. I think they don't have anybody that knows how to operate the transmitters anymore. And China Radio, they're still there. But boy, oh boy, there isn't a whole lot. You know, all those European countries, Serbia, Czechoslovakia, you know, all of those countries. I used to listen to all of them, and now there's just nothing. Radio Romania, that was another every night one, and they're just on the internet. You can catch those stations being rebroadcast over WRMI from Miami. And they sound very good, and you're still listening to shortwave, so I guess maybe that counts. I don't know. But it all takes a lot of time. A lot of time and a lot of planning to be in the right place at the right time. The aeronautical overseas stuff, it's always there. You just got to dial around. I've got probably 30, 35 memories in the radio, and I just scan back and forth to see what frequency they're using that evening. The predominant frequencies during the evening. There's East Coast and West Coast, of course, and then all across the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean and all that. There's literally many dozens of frequencies for all the different areas. So, yak, yak, yak. N9CXK, over.
All right, thank you, Carol. I don't think there's anything wrong with your audio. I think your audio is just fine. Armchair copy. What was I going to say? Oh, when my daughter was born, I took one of my Zenith transoceanic, you know, I got the real big old ones. I took one to the hospital, and I listened to Radio Havana. And I'm pretty sure some of the people there thought I was some kind of foreign agent or something. I'll never forget that. And I used to listen to Radio Romania, and what was the one from Moscow or Moskva or whatever they called it? Used to listen to that all the time. It's probably illegal to listen to that now, I guess. I don't know. 10 meters. I've got to do something about that. My daughter built here we go again. My daughter and I built a 10-meter dipole, a really nice one, last year, and it's up in the trees in the front yard permanently, but it's intended to be taken down and used portably. But I don't have a good way to hook up a radio to that other than parking my Jeep near it and hooking up the radio in the Jeep. I should just take that radio out of there. Don't use it in there at all anymore. Anyway, don't know how much longer my radio is going to last here, let alone my voice. But next, we'll go to Steve on 9FSE from KC9UDX.
got to catch up on your stuff there. And very good on the aeronautical stuff on HF ever since I've been talk about my forays into the Kiwi world of SDRs, which is kind of neat. It's kind of like throwback for me to be just being a 706 and no scope in front of me for this net. But I got the Kiwis everywhere. I got the Hermes Light 2 at home. I just got the SDR play going again, so that's good. Kind of neat to have all that stuff and chase stuff down. And I don't know if I mentioned that last time, but it's like I've been chasing down long wave stuff. I think I did mention that one, but it's like it's one of my favorites is to listen to a little bit of Polsky radio on 225 kilohertz there. That's a favorite. But you mentioned the aeronautical stuff, Carol, and one of the Kiwi extensions is HFDL, which is their aeronautical texting kind of stuff, and that's kind of neat to see how that stuff comes in, and that's just baked into the Kiwis anywhere in the world, so that's a lot of fun. And yeah, it's sort of sad about the ban out of the big signal and no audio, but maybe they can get some Russian assistance on that or something. I don't know what to say. It's just a sort of a mess. And well, yeah, you mentioned you were on doing the 1010 net. I think I heard them call you. I was listening there a little bit Sunday night, and sitting here in MUM, and it was his signal was getting bounced off the auroral cloud, so there was this a little bit of auroral delay and wateriness and an echo on his signal. So I thought that was kind of fun too on the net Sunday night. I mean, just usually I need VHF SWL and just talk on VHF and UHF like now. Oh, goodness. And let's see if I have any other cool notes. And, yeah, very good, Matt, on the accordion club and your 5-year-old. It reminds me of Xander Rainmaker's band up in Pulaski area, and he's maybe a 7-year-old by now, or 8-year-old. Him and his sister-in-law tear it up, so that's just a blast to see that stuff. So I'll have to see what I'm doing on the 24th. Usually I'm left from my usual stuff for that. So I don't want to believe make things last too long, because I got to back up here yet too, and then get out of here. So let me I don't think I have too much more to add, other than, I wouldn't mind finding electric radio magazines for dirt to wade through, too. Nothing like a good bull anchor rag, and especially if we're out here talking AM, sort of goes hand in hand. So, yeah, that's the other thing for PRF, Dave, is like, that was one of the main reasons for the YouTube is stations that might not hear the other stations, they can at least follow along on live on the YouTube. With that, back up to net. This is NIFSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. See if I can. This is the worst this has ever been, I'm pretty sure. Don't know if I. See how well this works. Or not. Well, see how long I can still transmit. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I think we'll go one more round here, do a 7-3 round, and that'll be it. Between it is kind of getting kind of late too, but my radio is not cooperating. I guess I still would rather operate a flaky boat anchor than something modern. That's just me. I do not appreciate modern radios with their digital displays and stuff. Anyway, next we'll go to Dave, KB9PRF from KC9UDX.
Never knows PRF. I told you to do it, you see, where we're at.
I picked up this 991 Alpha from a friend of mine who wanted to take an activity shack, so he asked me if I wanted it, and years ago I had a Icon 706 early version. That's the best we do at feedback on it, and enjoyed it for the most part. And I found that was starting to get a little bit of wind, and I had a friend of mine that wanted to trade me something for it, but at the time I was really interested in it. I moved the trade and then I left it just there, and I was going to withdraw because I couldn't get on with the other things that I wanted to get onto. One of the things that was up there in the stacking box is it's ready for that. You don't always use it. You don't always use any little odds and ends or anything else I can do. But something like this where you can click on to two ends and participate in that. That's one of the things that is actually different. I do understand what you're talking about with the under equipment. There's forms and drink, how to craft things, a few other things down in the research check. In fact, this is a good look at my QR web page. I used to see one Icon 751 Alpha, which I also enjoy operating because there are the numbers. There are numbers on face value. And I kind of prefer to do that black. Yes, it can be I have on the 2 meters the rest of the meters. But people hear about your sons and brothers when they taking lessons in the accordion and everything else. Years ago, we used to have a good teacher in our Hartford was the first powerhouse. It was one of our fellows. That has changed about maybe 10 years ago now. But I thought it was I enjoyed it. And we got into it, so we eventually took it into the trips around the area and listened to different bands and all that. But those days are long gone. Glad to hear the kids are into operating with that as well. So, I don't have a lot more for you yet. I did happen to hear Steve mention it on the unmet tonight, and decided that, maybe I'll check that out after I come back. So I'd like to Steve for putting that on the air, and about the calendar, so I just stop in here a little bit more often. I think there's probably a few settings out of here that are probably tweaked and it'll work better, but that'll be something for a future good. With that, I'll say 7-3, with that, coming back to that, unless your voice is going to hold out, you're going to come over and go on. So the line here up.
All right, thank you, Dave. And I think I got about 50% of that. I apologize, but yeah, it's been at least 10 years since WGKM changed their format. I did something recently I would encourage everybody to do if you have a mind to do it. They have some kind of survey thing on their website. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I left a comment on there begging them to change their format back. I think that's what we need to do. In fact, I need to probably recruit a lot more people and maybe do a letter writing campaign or something. I think if enough of us did something like that, I think maybe they'd do it. I don't know. I would like to think so. I don't think the people that own that station could have any idea how many people out here miss that station the way it used to be. And with that, we are going to do another round here. So Dave, if you want to stick around, it's up to you. Excuse me. We'll do a 7-3 round, and I don't expect anybody to be quick and just cut out. So talk as long as you want. We'll go back to the top of the list. Carol, N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and 2 AM net. N9CXK. Very good. Well, Matt, for one thing, your radio is not the worst it's ever been. It's been copyable almost 100% of the time. So it's not as bad as it had been in the past when you actually dropped out or went way off frequency where we couldn't hear you. That's not happening. Your audio is really nice and it's hanging in there. I wouldn't hit it too hard on the top there. Dave, I forgot to say that I'm sorry that you had that accident, fell on the driveway. I know that's pretty awful. Smashing your elbow, and you can feel the things getting hurt in there, and you know it's going to be a while before that straightens itself out. Especially dislocating it. It'll never be quite the same, but it should strengthen up where it'll be fine for you for a long time. Yeah, you just got to kind of take it easy. No tower climbing, no tennis, no badminton, any of that. Especially no pickleball. So, and what else? Steve, Steve. Oh, Steve, your audio's great. Yeah, those first nets when I came on and you were on here, and you were just blasting. But you had no way to know that. Nobody was saying anything, and the audio was just incredible. So now it sounds real good, but I know you got to clean up there. So I'll move along. Maybe I have too much mic gain on AM here. I don't know, but everything else seems to be going along. Dave in you're in Milwaukee, but I guess you're in Monchez. Maybe you know the Roths, Jim and Mary Roth up there. I worked with Jim for 20 years, and he's been retired for 20 years, so there you have that story. But I was able to hear the noise come up quite a bit, and I could hear that there was a voice there, the last transmission for Dave, so it's a little better. Not that I could hear what he was saying, but I could tell he was there. Who else is on, and what are we talking about? Yes, I didn't know what the contest was this last weekend, Dave. I thought it was 6-meter sprints, but maybe it was like the VHF sprints or something. I didn't hear too much. Somebody said that they got on early in the morning and there were just all kinds of guys calling 50.125, but they were all local. Super interesting. I have had the radio on the whole time we've been on the air here on 50.125. I haven't heard a peep. So I don't think there's a whole lot going. And during the day I have the 6-meter FM radio on in the car all the time, and I just don't hear anything. I think I know you need a lot of signal for FM, and maybe that's just what it is. Or the MUF doesn't quite get up to the top of 6 meters. I don't know. That doesn't sound likely, but I'm just not hearing all this 6-meter activity either. Guys tell me FT8, as soon as they say FT8, my ears shut down and I don't listen anymore. So doesn't trip my trigger whatsoever. But I guess I would like to connect the digital modes in this radio to my computer at some point. I just don't have a place for a computer anywhere near the desk here, but maybe I'll have to rearrange, I guess. And at the Ham Fest, I was trying to think, did I buy anything? I picked up a couple of free things out of Dan WX9 EMS's trailer. Pickup truck and a trailer, both full of stuff for free. So there were people around this trailer the whole time we were there. I picked up a couple of just little things out of there. I did buy a nice looking heavyweight pocket transistor radio from a guy. He had like 3 boxes of different kind of transistor radios, and I collect little old transistor radios. So I picked up a real nice one for my collection there. Cleaned it up, and it was clean inside too. It didn't have rotten batteries or anything. That was kind of fun, but I think that's the only thing I bought. I didn't buy anything. Yes, I sold my, well, I didn't get the money, but I sold my 75-meter double bazooka. It's about I don't know. I think it's 125 feet. I don't think it's fully 75 meters, which would be like 136 feet. I think it's a little shorter. But it's a full-size 75-meter double bazooka. Very well made. I waited a long time for it when I ordered it. And very quiet antenna. Very nice antenna. But it's just, when I have limited space to put things up, I have to have antennas that do 2 and 3 things. So that's really a single-band antenna. So I took that down. I have a 40 and 80-meter trap dipole now. And the bazooka had to go away while it was still in good shape. So the guy that got it was very happy, and I think you will be very happy once he gets it strung up in the air and doesn't run into it with the lawnmower or something. So, there we go. I babbled enough. Hope everybody's having a great time, and I will see you all soon. I'll say 7-3. Thank you, Matt. Thanks for running the net. Thanks for everybody else for being here. And 9CXK, over.
All right, thank you, Carol. I will say 7-3 to you. And I guess I don't collect transistor radios, but I've had a half a dozen of them my whole life, I suppose, close to it. And I only know where one of them is right now. It's kind of aggravating. I certainly wouldn't have ever gotten rid of them. And there's been a lot of times lately when I would have really liked to have one. But I don't know where they are. And the one that I do know where it is eats batteries like crazy. I should put that on the bench someday and figure out why that is. It wears down a 9-volt battery in about 10 minutes. Battery gets hot. Radio doesn't do anything abnormal otherwise, but something is draining that battery. Probably a shorted transistor or something. And if you don't have room in your shack for a computer, don't discount Android phones. Get an old Android phone. Get a Raspberry Pi or a one of those single board computers. I've got one here that's a I can't think of the exact name of it. It's from Pine 64. It's a little bit better than the Raspberry Pi. But I got 2 Raspberry Pis sitting in front of me. These things will do all that stuff just fine. But even the Android phone, that's how I've done it. I have never transmitted because I never felt like I had a stable enough signal to do it, although I probably could. But I have received PSK31, and that's something I've always wanted to try. I think I could pull it off, but don't get time to play with that stuff. See, now I'm well, you say it's been worse than this, and maybe that was just because I wasn't adjusting it and keeping up. That's what I've been doing tonight. Anyway, I shouldn't have to keep retuning. The frequency must be drifting. I should have the frequency counter running, and I don't. But next we'll go to Dave. Dave, it's your turn on the 7-3 round WB9 BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay, so many treats. Everybody that has stumbled by here this evening, and I occasionally do some FT8 stuff, not a lot. Until I know you listen to some of the other nets. Troy W9KEY, and I always give him grief about it. He'll be on a 2-meter net at the same time he's got his HF radio and making 50 FT8 contacts, and he says, "Oh, I just worked this guy." Yeah, that's nice. He got up the street from me here, Phil W9NAW. He's got a 4-5 element, 6-meter beam on his tower next to his house, and he's always complaining that, there's no 6-meter activity anymore except for that there's digital stuff that he doesn't do. So, and I don't know. Like I say, I've done it, and I do it here and there. On 160 meters, I had 46 base sources. I did not have Alaska and Hawaii. That's kind of obvious, I guess. And Nevada and Oregon. After I got SC8 fired up and working, I went over to 160 one night and worked Nevada and Oregon. And so then I'm sitting there going, well, boy, do I count them or not? Anyway, I don't have anything else. I gotta start doing something. So I check in the net rate so that everybody else has some things that maybe I can comment on. I gotta start doing some stuff that is worth talking about. Other than the MRIC meeting Saturday, that yes, Matt, you or I have gotten press in the meeting announcement there. Be running the fox hunt after the meeting. Meeting is on remote radio stuff. There's some more of that newfangled things up there. 10 o'clock HLO classroom open to one and all. And we'll see if I'm there or not. Anyway, 73 to us. Oh, almost got it in there. 73 to everyone. This is WB9 PWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. We'll say 7-3 to you and hopefully see you Saturday. And I wonder how long that timer is. It must be 3 minutes or something. Got to turn that timer off here. I think I'm the only one that doesn't run a timer. But I should have taken everybody in a different order here anyway. I think Steve is on short time. Speaking of which, we'll go to Steve, N9 FSE. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Saturday morning because they start at 6 to 8 usually. Haven't checked on that one lately. on 1340 AM. That's start with the Deutschland music there around 8. Polka parade, getting really cranked up for me around 10 and 11, and then the mix at noon and such. So love all of that. And then if you stream, there's various other sources, including that Lionel X station, or listen to WVMO and my gal DJ Shotsky and all her mayhem for all the Opa style polka stuff. So enjoy all of that, as you all know. I'm going to say 73 though, so I can get stuff wrapped up and put away and sit back home and get up and go to work again tomorrow. So good to hear everyone. Hopefully Dave, you come PRF, come join us yet again another time. And I'm sure with all the beating of the drum I do here and there, we probably have listeners like some of the major machines in the area. So if you have anything else, or hopefully electronic radio, accordion clubs, all this fun stuff, I'm going to turn it back to Matt before I time out, which this might have a timer on, but I just ran through the settings and I didn't see it, so it should be buried in here somewhere. I'll have to go see what it's set at and how deep it is. With that, thanks for running at the end again, Matt, and at least we know what's out there on the YouTube to review. And we can all review our audio in the future from the past. With that, back to net. KC9UDX and 9FSE.
All right, thank you, Steve. And the Saturday morning stuff on WJYI, I guess I listen to that sort of religiously. It's gotten a lot better over the years. But this time of year, of course, it's still broken up. I think 7 to 8 in the morning with that gardening show, which I have no use for. But otherwise, there used to be those two clowns with the, what was it, a sports talk show or something? I don't even remember what they did. But there used to be two guys that would do an hour or 2 hour show. Those guys are long gone. And there's a handful more shows like that, like Polka Parade. And of course, what's the first one? Oh, Alpine Melodies. They play that one twice every week. So you're good at least from 6 till 4:30, minus that gardening show. I have a WTKM clock. And it's a funny story how I ended up with that. I used to be in a polka band, and some of the other guys from the band just happened to be driving around and found a van in the ditch, and they helped pull the van out of the ditch, and the van was somebody from WTKM, and the whole car was full of advertising stuff. And so they gave him a clock and a handful of bumper stickers, and I ended up with the clock somehow. And a bumper sticker. But I'm not sure that's how I got that one. Anyway, I really do believe if we got enough people to pester them, they'd at least consider switching back. I honestly don't think they realize how many of us there are. There's no way they could know. Anyway, I don't remember if I said 7-3. I will say 7-3 to you, Steve. And next we go to Dave, KB9PRF. It's your turn on the 7-3 round if you're still here from KC9UDX.
Thanks so much for all that. And Steve, thanks for the information on still playing cooking is just very interesting. The only other system that I followed was a one-hour slot on the Blue Brand radio station. And it's not all like that good compared to what started off as a lot of work I was used to put together by those people in. And I think you're right, that ship is actually planned. I didn't look at the website, found absolutely nothing on there. They thought it was a server or anything like that. And I thought about like, it might be just the fact of life that the group that the group of people that occasionally was transported to God as well. Of course, it was really designed really under the intention of to make barriers and everything else for the German the folks around the area like to hear the Whitcomb Day's death. And well, all of that and so forth translators looked at it and there's not that many farms left. So when it was left, there's kind of more so in the country where the local population is interested in that. But very glad to hear that there are other stations around the area, and we're thinking that all the time. With that, I'm going to send it back to Nick. I'm going to say thank you very much for interesting experience tonight. And yeah, that'll be a pleasure. Other than kind of making a regular occurrence, we don't have too much for putting on the outlet tonight. We're going to do that in the future. Maybe I'll remember it, but it was not much longer. But that'll treat you, Matt, and the Steve and the rest of the whole closet. I can't hear everybody, and do a little bit of a little bump in the swing up when somebody was close by, but it's so extra good. So that's a good telemetry. We're going to gear up. Look at it.
All right, thank you, Dave, and thank you for being here. I hope to see you here or hear you here next month. I just did look at, excuse me, I did look at the WTKM website, and it was not a survey. Now that I look at it, I recall it was, there's a thing that says contact us, station information, and there's a thing where you can contact them. And I guess you can put in a message there, and I think that's what I did. This looks very familiar. Maybe I'll do it again. Maybe I'll do it once a week or something until they complain. Anyway, I should be watching the meter, and I'm not. So hopefully I'm still transmitting, and it looks like I at least currently am. But I will say this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag chew on this frequency after my transmission. Something I have not been mentioning lately is this is our 10th year of doing this, at least. For sure, I think it's in August. I have logs continuously going back to then, although I'm pretty sure we started this in 2013. But I don't have logs to prove it. Anyway, we will meet again on the 9th of July. Until then, this is KC9UDX 73, and good night.